There is absolutely no doubt that the original King's Quest franchise is responsible for being the gateway into many gamers' lifelong love affair with video games. It was funny, it was challenging, and it took players on a true adventure.
Now ride!
Of course, taking a series like this and updating it risks spoiling the precious memories and experiences so many people had with the original King's Quest.
Risky business indeed. Thankfully, the game is in good hands with developer The Odd Gentleman and has been published by original creators Sierra Entertainment, so you know it has the royal seal of approval.
Yes, this is King's Quest for a new age.
This isn't a sequel, but rather a reboot or reimagining of the King's Quest series. The older games will be considered part of the canon of this new version, but there is some poetic license being taken here and there.
The game is being released in 5 chapters, and this is the first installment, A Night to Remember. In this tale, our hero Graham is embarking on his quest to become a knight. But the story is recounted beautifully by an older Graham, voiced by Christopher Lloyd.
I hope this old cap will be remembered for far more than the action tattered across its brim, sewn into the seams of many hidden adventures.
To his daughter, Gwendolyn.
King Edward was so proud that you returned his lost treasure that he made you king. Everyone knows that part.
Yeah, it very much reminded me of The Princess Bride, where you hear frequent interruptions from Gwendolyn as the story is told.
Nestled beneath a slumbering pile of teeth and claws was...
Fabled mirror.
Oh, so you remember this part of the story.
Well, dragons are my favorite.
Is it just a coincidence then that the game also features the voice of Wallace Inconceivable, Sean?
That would be inconceivable.
I can tell you're like me, a creative thinker, an intellectual. To win this competition, you'll need to prove that your talents are more powerful than their strength, agility, and speed.
I mean, this was already ticking so many boxes for me, Barjo.
There's great voice work by Zelda Williams too, who is the daughter of the late Robin Williams.
I'm a woman of action, if you couldn't tell. Quiet towns don't pay the bills.
What did you think of the look of the game?
So beautiful, Barjo. Screenshots galore.
It does feel like you're playing through pages of illustrations from a fairy tale, doesn't it?
Yeah, although that cell-shaded art style instantly calls back to Telltale's games for me, which is interesting because I know they were recently on board to create a King's Quest game, but then it was cancelled.
Curious. The thing that instantly struck me about this game was just how intuitive the controls were. You begin your adventure with this epic prologue through a cave with a dragon. There are puzzles and action sequences, but it's all really easy to navigate. You rarely get stuck on anything, and the controls are simple and straightforward. It's great design.
It is. I was a little bit worried that the puzzles might be a little bit too simple. The solutions early on are simply just to hide or use an axe to chop down a tree, for example. But further into the game, it really does become about the quest and the various mini-quests and puzzles you have to solve along the way.
Uh-oh. Oh, dear. Not good.
It does get trickier.
Ultimately, you're on a quest in hopes of becoming king. So I liked that you're tested for speed, reflexes, morals,
Treating my opponents with respect.
cunning.
Who is the only knight competing in the tournament that speaks multiple languages?
Manny. We're friends, you know. We have kind of an alliance.
Yes, all the noble traits a good and brave king will require.
And they use clever design devices to stop you from retracing your steps too much too. There are pathways that connect up with others so that you find quick ways to get between locations, or shortcuts will be created for you.
Ah, a shortcut.
No skippable dialogue, though. I mean, there aren't really any lengthy dialogue scenes, which is something that a lot of adventure games do suffer from. But after you've heard or seen something once, you should be able to skip it if you accidentally press it again.
That odd horn seemed to be missing some sort of mouthpiece.
That annoyed me a bit.
Yeah, me too. You have a very basic inventory for items you pick up along the way. No complex puzzle solving by way of combining various objects, however. King's Quest instead throws an element of player choice into the mix, which will have ripple effects later on. For example, choosing how to deal with this dragon at the start of the game.
I had 3 choices in front of me. Any would clear my path to safety, and all would have rippling consequences.
or choosing to leave money for an item you take from a shop. You will probably need that money later on for valuable quest items.
But you may also need the help of the shop owners.
Hello there, and good afternoon.
How much for that gardening tool?
I love it when there's a bit of stress placed on your own moral judgment and how you choose to behave.
Yeah, especially since, in many ways, as the story is being told, it's shaping young Gwendolyn too, who is always listening and learning. She essentially reflects your actions back at you.
You're just too adorable to fight, Mr. Springbottom.
At the heart of the game, there's some really great writing too, with personality and humour.
What is brewing in that cauldron? Is it a transfiguration elixir? Is it an invincibility potion? If I drink it, will I understand the language of creatures? Will I sprout the wings of an eagle? Or a fly?
Oh, this teeth-whitening potion.
Oh, there are such wonderful character interactions in this game, aren't there? And emotion. You learn hard lessons, but they really give the experience a sense of depth and meaning.
I love how it embraces traditional fantasy, but still keeps that sense of whimsy that made the original so popular, and slapstick.
Yeah, it comes down to those great choices they've made to keep this game true to the original. Drawing references from the early games, yet bringing it to life in a way that feels fresh and modern.
I do think there is room for it to be a little more challenging though, so hopefully it ramps up in future episodes.
I think that's fair. The important thing is that the spirit of the franchise is captured so perfectly though, right down to the feather in Graham's cap. The art, music, writing, and game design all come together so perfectly to breathe new life into a much-loved classic. For me, this is 4.5 out of 5 stars.
Yeah, I agree. This is just beautiful work, and I think it will impress fans of the original and newcomers alike. I'm giving it 4 stars.
Now let's Vamanusi from this Meadowland, Mr. Fancy Cakes. It is go time.